Greetings everybody, my name is Tommy the Game Master and welcome again to my channel. Sorry I'm a little bit late getting this review out for Mighty Number 9. I was on a family trip for a few days and I didn't get home until the day after this title was launched. I should also say I was a Kickstarter contributor to this game, so after playing through this game, what do I think of it? It's not as good as I had hoped, I'll be honest with you on that, but it's not as bad as I feared or what a lot of people are saying about it. Going through some of the YouTube reviews, you would think this was one of the worst games ever made, and that it can't compete with any of the Mega Man franchise. Now let me say this, last year I reviewed a ton of Mega Man games, and it was about this time last year that I did them so I could do this Mega Man timeline, and I realized one thing. A handful of the Mega Man games are really great, but most of the Mega Man games are merely good to decent, and there were only 2 games that I have played from that series so far that are absolute crap, and one of them is so bad that I still deny its existence, despite having reviewed it. My point being that while the Mega Man series usually brought some solid fun, fans should not delude themselves in thinking that the whole series was some sort of big pinnacle of greatness that never went wrong. Trust me, it went wrong a plenty of times. And while this game does change up quite a bit, especially with some of the formula and some of the basic gameplay design to the point where I can understand while some Mega Man fans are saying it's not Mega Man, and as much as I would say it's an easy defense to say this is not supposed to be Mega Man, it's supposed to be Mighty Number 9, it's hard to even mount that defense as much as the game used Mega Man not only in its Kickstarter, but just in its overall story and just the amount of nods to the original Mega Man series. For crying out loud, the final achievement I got in this game is called Super Fighting Robot. If you get that reference, then congratulations, you're old. If you don't, it's basically most of the theme song to the Mega Man cartoon of the early 90s. Anyways, if you can't tell by the way I'm just kind of rambling out good and bad about this game, it's because my thoughts on this are mixed. Some of it's really good, some of it's really bad, so let's go and take a detailed look at this game piece by piece, and I'll tell you what I thought worked and what I thought didn't work. The game's story opens up in the future where we no longer have war and violence due to robots. Most of the fighting now is done in a special coliseum. However, one day the robots go berserk, including Dr. Light's, Dr. White's powerful robots, which he calls the Mighty Numbers. All except for his newest and smallest creation, which he calls Beck and has given the title Mighty Number 9. Beck manages to avoid going berserk and must stop all the other Mighty Numbers from taking over the world. Beck will have the support of Dr. White and his assistants, along with the robot named Call. Get it? Beck and Call? Yeah, it's almost as lame as rock and roll. Okay, a lot of this is taken right from the original Mega Man. All of Mega Man's older and more powerful robots are taken and start rampaging. Mega Man is left alone because he is considered too weak, and now it's up to him to stop the others. There is even a press briefing by this guy, which is automatically set up for being an obvious villain. Well, he is and he isn't actually. Rather, he's the moron who accidentally opened up a robotic Pandora's box and is having a hard time closing it. And the fact that his company is named Cherrydyne, which should be an obvious pun to anyone who has watched The Terminator, we know what was in Pandora's box and what exactly type of evil Beck will have to step in and stop by the end of the game. Also, by the end of the game, the story does seem to take on a different and a bit more darker turn than what was found in most Mega Man games, and I am anxious to see if there is a sequel, what they will do with these twists. Anyways, like I said, plenty of stuff taken from the original Mega Man. The basic plot is similar to the original Mega Man with a few small changes towards the end. Even the robotic puns and artwork look a lot like Mega Man. Call here could easily be Roll's big sister. Alright, we will start with what they took from the original Mega Man. Well, the classic formula is still here. brief opening stage, and then select one of the 8 levels that is presented and battle a robot master for their power. Then find another stage where that robot power is weak against the boss in that stage to acquire another, and then beat another, and then another, until all 8 are dead, and then proceed into another stage which leads to the final battle. The formula is here and it still works. On the good side, once you get past the clunky menus used to change power where I have to press the LT button while the game is still going, I can't pause in order to select a power up and then press Y to transform, and it's a huge pain in the butt. But once I got past that, I found myself enjoying some of the powers. Like most Mega Man games, not all the power-ups are going to be useful, but I did find one really useful one in this missile bomb power-up that can be really powerful and useful. One of the biggest changes, though, in the gameplay is rather than destroying a robot boss when you beat them, Beck saves them, and they will help you out on the stage that has their boss weakness to their power-up. Take this example here. The weakness of this boss is the sniper scope, and if I pick the stage after having the sniper scope, this will happen on the scene.
Breaking news. The piece of trash brought a friend and he's no fun at all.
If you don't have the sniper scope, this will happen instead.
But there's a gleaming through outside and it looks like the trash is being burned away.
Most of these helps are relatively small obstacles that would only take a moment or two for an experienced player to get around, but the fact that these guys show up in other stages are a nice touch, and at least it doesn't make a hypocrite out of Beck, who constantly talks about not wanting to fight while completely mowing down his family in a blaze of glory like Mega Man. So like I said, it's a small touch, and it does help make the two characters very different from each other, and I appreciated it. I guess I should talk about the biggest change in the game next, and that is how you kill enemies. You're either going to love this or you're going to hate it. Me, it just depends on the stage and situation. On paper, this sounds like a good idea on how to keep an old formula fresh. In practice, not so much. Okay, so in order to kill an enemy, you have to shoot them with your blaster. After a few hits, they start to glow. Then you have to charge into them. This gives you bonuses for a while, like increased speed or defense. It also helps refill your special movesets. The game does have an arcade-esque sword system, and the more you combo and the more enemies you kill at 100%, the higher your score goes. The score system is kind of more of an arcade setup, and this may end up entertaining some fans more than others, but it's what Mighty No. 9 is using to expand its replayability. While I myself did not care for the score system, I do like the idea of getting a little power-ups that boost your speed by doing it. That said, there are problems with the system. In areas where you're allowed to dash freely, this system works fine and is fun. But in areas where you're going to be on tight platforms, yeah, it'll get you killed. I wish they would allow you to kill enemies normally or had other things you could use to collect this energy. But the system really shows its ugly head in boss battles. Yeah, in order to beat the bosses at certain times, you have to dash into them and collect their energies. Otherwise, they will refill their life bar until you do. Now, doing this refills your special energy a little bit, so I don't mind that it's there, but the recharging life on the boss makes no sense, and it makes it really frustrating for the player. Another thing I should complain about is the fact that stages are long enough to where repeating them will be annoying, and game over screens, which happen frequently, will send you clear back to the beginning. That said, Mighty No. 9 does one thing right in this area, and Nintendo might want to take notice, because here is how they help out the players who are having a difficult time. Whenever you die too much, a helper robot will appear and give you some power-ups before bosses or difficult segments. The power-ups are temporary, and what you get depends on how many times you die. The more you die, the more power-ups you will get, and the better they are. However, like I said, they're temporary, and no way are they free passes past the area. They are helping hands in areas where you're struggling, but they are no free passes, and I kind of like that. Nintendo needs to take note that that's one of the things that annoys the hell out of me over the new Super Mario Bros. Series, is that you get a free pass for sucking. There are no free passes in Mighty No. 9, but there is a good helping hand system. and it is disabled if you choose harder difficulties. Just before I leave, I should mention this game does have a few buggy areas, or areas that are just plain frustrating. Take this for example here. I have to shoot these things to become blocks and then destroy them and jump through before they heal. But they heal right away unless I shoot them and wait for that random time when they don't automatically respawn to get through. Yeah, this is what I call what comes out of the back end of a cow, folks, and it's just asinine to think they would put that in this game. Yeah, let's talk about the graphics here. I don't quite get the looks of this game right here, especially considering how it had a $4 million budget. The graphics look more like they belong on the first Xbox and not the Xbox One. I can understand wanting to look retro, and I have reviewed games like Shantae's Risky's Revenge before, after all, and gave them quite good reviews because they looked really charming. Here, the graphics look more like they're sloppy than retro or charming, with the pizza-shaped explosion, blocky character models, and cutscenes where characters that don't even have animated mouths. It looks like an early PS2 era game, but that's not what people think about when they think about Mega Man, unless they're thinking about this, and it's better not to be thinking about that. The backgrounds in some areas are just ridiculously outdated looking, and so do the character designs. It's such a shame the way this game looks. It really brings it down to a level. If this game was an Xbox Live Arcade game, which it is being released on the Xbox Live Arcade for the 360, but didn't demand a retail release of $30, I might be a little bit more forgiving for this game's look. But given the time and the budget this game had, it shouldn't look so sloppy, and it does. Add in some long load times and slowdowns, and yeah, the graphics are easily the worst part of Mighty Number 9. I can understand wanting to look a little bit dated and retro for a game of this type, but it just doesn't work here. A lot of people have complained about the English vocals in this game, and like most of the time when I hear anyone complain about anime voiceover acting, the people complaining the most understand as much Japanese as I do, which is almost none at all. We got some pretty good voice talent here. Yuri Lowenthal, who has done works on things like Naruto and the Prince of Persia series, does a really good job as Beck. We even have Steve Blum doing a voiceover on one of the characters, so overall I think it sounds nice. The script, on the other hand, is horrible, though with many lame jokes.
We report, and you there do whatever you want.
And usually when the script is funny, it's doing so unintentionally. This line here made me burst out laughing for the wrong reasons.
Beck, did you just absorb the cells of a weakened robot and, my goodness, assimilate them? Of course, I designed him with that capability.
Gee, Beck, you can do exactly what you're designed to do. Next thing I know, that boxer I've been training will tell me he knows how to throw a punch. No offense there, Doc, but I think you're missing a few screws. Ay. But anyways, yeah, the script is just terrible, filled with either lame jokes, and when it is funny, it's unintentional. So, yeah, the sound for the voice acting is good, but the script that they're reading is terrible. The sound and the music is, for the most part, pretty decent as well. It doesn't rank up there with Mega Man games, but it's not terrible by any means. Yeah, one of the reasons why this game was delayed was to add in an online mode. Why? Yeah, it kinda sucks from what I could gather. The idea is to race through a stage and kill as many enemies as possible and get a higher score. Just from the way both me and the other guy were playing, both of us didn't really know what the heck we were supposed to be doing. And we got to the end well before the time ran out. It's lame and it's buggy to say the least, and most importantly, entirely not necessary. A lot of the bad press was due to this game's delay, and it was delayed due to this online. And for an online, that would have been better just scrapped. A lot of people seem to hate this game, and they compare it to the best of the Mega Man series, the original X, Mega Man 2 and 3, and it doesn't hit those heights. I'd say it's about as much fun as a Mega Man X5 or a Mega Man 6. It has a lot of good points and strong areas. It also has some areas that are frustrating and need fine-tuning. Hey, you know what game I could also say the same thing about? This game. Yeah, Mega Man didn't start to achieve great things until its sequel came out, so I do hope we do eventually get a sequel to Mighty Number 9, in which they fine-tune some of these problem areas, bring the frustration down a notch, change the way the charge is used on the bosses, and a few other things. In the meantime, should you get Mighty Number 9, well, Steam has it for the right price, or at least the price I would recommend paying for it. $20, provided the PC version isn't buggy as hell. But yeah, I would wait for it to drop down to either $15 to $20 because that's kind of what I would recommend paying for it. In the meantime, this is Tommy the Game Master, thanking you for watching. If you have any comments, feel free to leave them down below. I would also love to have you as a subscriber to my channel. I do reviews like this all the time. I also do editorials and other things on this channel, and I would love to have you as a member of my community.